Tremendous here. Just a little bit past 6 o'clock. So once again, an RPG Maker V for the Nintendo Switch. And we will be picking up where we left off, which is making a... Well, actually, I made the boss fight, so it's moving on to the next step. And that's what happens afterwards. So let me actually head down to... up. So I do actually have a little bit more work to do. So this is the stage where the boss fight takes place. I made it just a little overcrowded, I know. And all the commands to control everything is under this sig figure. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to disable the victory stuff, but I can't, because when I tell it to disable victory report and disable this all together, it isn't giving me... I won't be able to re-enable it later, so I'll mess with that a little bit later, but we'll go with none. So, before I get into the meats of what I did, this is just going to be a test to see how this all looks. And we'll go back into my original game. So we enter. Boss fight is immediately on. I think you all got to see this part. So we have our fight. One hit can do it. So I get to keep the music playing through the whole thing. So I increased the length of it from last time from half a second to actually a second and a half. Makes it all look a little bit better. So he wants to make it team-based. We'll make it team-based. Points out that Sig has no damage, so he's back to full health. Once again, we'll end this in one hit. Okay, 2 hits. Serena gets to hit him. I'll have to work on that a little bit later. So now there's way more than 4, so it's no longer team-based, and as Ram calls him out on it, he's just cheating. So Duran Kennard is Sig's last name. McLean is Serena. Crouch just calling him Cheater. Throwing his weight around. Sona and Abby don't care, so they'll head in. So it'll be 2-on-2. I'm not going to make you fight 3 matches in a row without healing. So I don't know if you noticed, but the little guy in the hat, bottom left corner, was the healer. And we'll end this all in one go. So he gets grumpy. How can this be? The teacher shows up. And, well, the teacher does what a teacher does and says that's the end of it. Exits out. And that's the fight. Now, I'm actually going to add in a little... 1 or 2 little things. So I'm going to create a new event. I always, when I'm creating an event, put it somewhere where they can't interact with it. I'll go ahead and mute that so you don't have to listen to all the clicks. So we're just going to have a little bit of a talk. Doop, 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 doop. Tran will talk first. A little something like what do you think will happen to Sig? Leon will respond with don't know. Once again, you're all get to be treated to my horrible spelling. I promise it will all be cleaned up at some point. And he's going to give the hint that there's no other major events. Now, what I'm going to do real quick is go into settings. Here, this is the main settings. And I'm just going to check So I know what I'm changing it back to. So we'll go ahead and remute the game now that I have that information. We'll head back into this one. Change the victory ME. Oops, that's the victory from 1, not 10. So there we go. That's the one we had before, nice and short. Control, oops, don't want that. I want the self switch. Let me go ahead and remute the game so you don't have to listen to 5,000 clicks. We'll create a new event page for self switch A. And before I save the game, I'm going to verify that this works. And then we can move on to the next part, which is kind of the consequences for SIG. So if I get this all to work, I'll give you a rundown on how exactly the boss fight plays out. So SIG's classic music. We're just going to go at SIG real fast. I should have done magic so you could see that. Well, once again, proves he's a dirty cheater, moves Serena up to make it a tag match. So to show you how ridiculously overpowered this is, they can attack me all they want. I take no damage because I've set everything to max level. So he has a second team helping him out. Pay attention. Bottom left corner, you'll see the exclamation mark when the healer gets called out. And I'm just ending this. And there goes the rest of them. And we have free motion, so that worked perfectly. So what we'll do is call that there and head back to the screen. Now I'm going to do this in order. So, oops. Let me go ahead and mute that so we're not listening to all that. I'll actually call this a little bit of story building because I'm not building any fights or anything. This is all going to be story. There's home outside. Doot, doot, doot. So what I'm going to do is really simple. I'm going to copy the maid right here. There's the copy. Edit. I'm actually going to start deleting event pages. Go to the sub character. I want it to be facing away from us. Doot, doot, doot. That's just my controller sliding across my desk. No need to worry. Set this to end of duel. Duel end. Set that to auto run. The only thing I'm really going to be changing here is I'm going to have her turn around. So I don't want to transfer player. I want to set a movement route. For this event. And the only thing I want her to do is turn down. If I can ever click on the right thing here. I think it's called a drawing room. I'll look it up and check that later. Now with this one, what is it? Control switch on. Doo, doo, doo. It's a matter of just figuring out how I want this one to play out. Ballroom. So what I'm going to do is copy this event page, paste it, and set it to show up for dual end. And what I want to do is actually force a teleport in there. This will be auto run. I need to go to edited characters. And this is why you see me do a lot of copy and paste. Oops. I'm going to label this one. Ladies and gentlemen, my horrible spelling still comes back to bite me. As during a duel, in case I use it again. Now, she will be out. Oops, got a little too close to the mic. She will be out of her combat clothes, so I am going to be looking for that one right there. So, before I forget, set the show up as dual end. Same thing for this before I totally space it. Dual end. Go back to the main room. And I am going to force the transfer here. Self switch A on, doing nothing. And we're just going to transfer the player. I figured we hadn't used the ballroom yet. So in case you haven't gone in here, it will make it obvious where we need to go. So I'm just going to give this a real quick playtest and make sure it functions the way it needs to go. So obviously, because what we did, we got into a fight at school. Our parents will naturally know about this. Hello? And she's gone. Alright, so that pseudo worked. I don't know why the System flashed. So let me go edit a few things. Let's make it on this event. So that works. Speaking of events, I promised I'd show you how the boss fight worked. So before I get into the last little bit here, so all these characters, naturally you have a fight, you're going to draw a spectator. Now, this character has actually been... Now, one thing to note is all these characters were here, but you didn't see them in the fight, including her. And the reason for that is simple. If I go into it, I tell it to go into when Duel Part 2. As it's running a little slow. And Duel Part 3 show up. So, you'll see there are 6 pages here. This is everything done to make the duel work. So, I'm going to change, first thing I do is change the background music to Sig's music, remove Serena from the party, and take away the victory. I think I see the problem. Yep. And it's something I can fix. I just need to pick one of these. So, if I... I'll work on that later. DLC 10 battle. Let me mute that so you don't hear it. So that will fix it, and I'll work on that such on a different playthrough. So I found that problem. But I tell it to start boss fight 1. Once that ends, Sig's on the ground because he's got knocked on his rear. This is the characters talking. Flash the screen white, basically change the screen white, play the heal, turn on the switch 2, which summons all those characters. Now, I chose to wait a second, that way we have the opportunity to see the characters before Leon starts talking. There's the text conversation, Serena's movement route. Re-added the Serena to it and start part B. Here, once again, the part where he's complaining. He's not going to give up. Same thing goes. We go to Duel Part 3. This one took forever. This is him talking. Serena telling him that he's cheating. His comebacks. The anonymous stuff. I actually did copy the cheater twice just because I didn't want to deal with having to mess around with typing in multiple things. So I set the movement route for both of them to take place roughly the same time. I actually did have them wait Sona go first and have Abby wait like half a second to prove Sona is more the one who really wants this. Their conversation, Dylan joining in the fight, heals everybody. There's the notion for that. The explanation for the cheater is what I called him so I could locate him easily. Forgive me there, folks. Sona Abby join, and it starts the final boss. Final boss basically summons the teacher. And then we remove the two of them and change everything back to normal. And that's how the boss fight went. Now, there's actually going to be two meetings here. The first one's actually going to be obvious. It's going to be the one with our parents. The other one is going to be the principal meeting with Sig's father. And it's going to imply that we're going to find out Sig is going to be suspended for a period of time. However, he'll be okay with that because of what comes next. Now, this is going to be, I know it's only been about 34 minutes, but this one's going to be a lot of text writing on these next two parts. So I believe I will end this early tonight. If you're enjoying it, please leave a like and subscribe if you have not. If you have any questions about what you're seeing, leave a comment. I'll do my best to answer either back to you or on the next one. And I will be back Wednesday, same time, same place. Till then, I hope everybody's having a great time.